I think it's interesting how we met. I think you probably were pushed my walk program on Instagram. Is that how it was?
Yeah, yeah. You know how in Instagram, the algorithms will provide you possible people or Instagram accounts that you might be interested in. And yours came up, and I just thought, oh, well, this is somebody somewhere in the US, and I'll go ahead and start to follow. And then when I looked at, your bio and where you were from, I couldn't believe that you actually live literally across the little creek from the house that my wife and I just finished in October in Mendocino.
How, and we have more in common. You have FSHD, I have myotonic dystrophy DM. So we're both part of the whole MDA family.
Exactly.
And you're a birder. I have nature walks and rolls. And we're born the same year. Who did?
Oh, I didn't know that. What
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what month?
March.
Oh, I'm July.
So
So
I'm older than you, Paul.
you're a little older than
And
me.
I hope you will show me the utmost respect being
I will.
older.
My elders get all my respect.
So let's start with when were you diagnosed? And well, FSHD stands for.
It's a long word. Fasciohumeral scapular dystrophy, and
That
those
sounds. That sounds, yeah, like it.
yeah. So those three words represent the various muscle groups that the condition mostly impacts or impacts initially. The
And when were you diagnosed? How old were you?
I was 16. My
Oh,
sister, who was 8 years older than me, was also diagnosed at 16. So when I was 8, I was aware of the condition in my family, but I didn't know that I had it. So my sister, very smart. She's not with us anymore. Unfortunately, she died in a car accident.
oh.
But very smart. Ended up being a nurse, and she thought I had it from an early age, but didn't say anything.
Hmm.
And I was 16, and I was just a 16-year-old boy doing all what boys do, and I could do everything. It was not impacting me, I thought.
Hmm.
And in looking back, I realized there's certain things that I couldn't do in sports. So I don't know if you ever remember the standardized tests in high school.
Yeah.
So each year you had to do certain tests. You had to jump and see how high you could jump. You had to run a mile. You had to do all these different things. And one of the things was called a bar dip. So there's these two parallel bars, and they're up at about 5 feet. So you had to jump up, and then you had to lower yourself down. So imagine, two parallel bars and your hands on them. Then you had to go down and come up and do as many of those as you could.
Huh.
And I remember the guy in front of me, and I knew I was not a very strong guy, but I never wanted to embarrass myself. So Bill Grenner was the guy in front of me. And I was like, okay, if Bill can do 10 and I'm doing 5, I'm going to be fine. So I go up there and I go down and I got stuck. Not that I couldn't push myself up, I could literally not get off the bars.
Mm.
And the coach, who was not the very nicest male coach, just was berating me and just like, and then ended up pulling me off. So I literally ran home. I was about a half mile from the high school and crying all the way, just like, oh my God, what's going on with me? And my sister said, I think you have muscular dystrophy. I
Mm.
remember going over to the high school and standing in the middle of the field and telling myself, if this is what God is giving me, then I am going to do everything I can while I have the ability to do it.
Mhm.
And so I played sports, I surfed, I skied, I hiked, I backpacked. I mean, I did everything. And I'm so glad I did that because as the years progressed, I was able to do less and less and less and less to probably about 10 years ago, where um, I had to start wearing braces, AFO braces, and then a walking staff, and then a walker. And now I'm mostly in a power wheelchair.
Mhm.
I have gotten serious about my meditation.
Mm.
So I have tried to be a serious meditator for 30 years, and work got in the way. My 2 glasses of wine at night got in the way, and my coffee got in the way. So I gave up alcohol 2 years ago, and I gave up coffee in January.
Wow.
And I now am honestly meditating 30 minutes twice a day.
Great.
And it really, whether or not it affects my muscles, it affects my mental health and well-being. Because I'm thinking, hey, wait a minute. It doesn't affect my brain. And if I can meditate for the rest of my life, this is something I really want to get good at,
Mm.
to develop that that getting deeply in meditation and get that peaceful and joyfulness that meditation brings. Clearing your mind or controlling your thoughts is one of the hardest things I've done. I mean, for 30 years, I've dabbled. I would do what my wife used to call poly yoga. So I would do yoga in the only way that my body could do it. So she would call it poly yoga because my name is Paul. And and I would then do some breathing, exercises, but it wasn't meditation. And then I picked up a book on meditating, and kind of followed that. It's more of a mental um, mantra and visualizing, that type. And then my wife and I went to a transcendental meditation retreat.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And so I did that for a couple years. And I kept falling away. And a lot of it was because I couldn't find the time, because my coffee in the morning, I'd have to have it, as soon as I woke up.
Mhm.
And it really conflicts with a deep state of meditation, because you're caffeinating yourself.
Mhm.
And so for a long time, I'd be Googling, can you meditate with caffeine? And I remember I saw Deepak Chopra drinking this cup of coffee. I said, see, you can meditate. It's like, realistically, so what I did, about 6 months ago, I joined this organization called the Heart Mind Institute. And they sell a biofeedback machine. It's just this little clip on, and it clips to your pocket over your heart, and it picks up your heart rate. And the other one clips to your earlobe, and it picks up your electrical signals in and around your brain.
Hmm.
And it comes up with what they call the heart brain coherence, and it gives you a score, and it rates you. So if the score is higher, it means you're at a deeper rate of meditation. If it's lower, then you're not. And it gives you a little chime. So if your eyes closed, you're at. So in the beginning, I put it on, and I'd hear the boom, which is a low. It's like, and it'll go, boom, oh, I'm getting higher. And it'll go, boom, okay, I'm at the height. And then as soon as my brain would go, I wonder what Carrie's doing right now. Boom, boom, boom. And go back down. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get back in. I'm not gonna be thinking about something. And I get on the high, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, what am I gonna do this afternoon? Boom, boom, boom. So there's a really good way for me to understand how my body felt when I was at a deeper state of relaxation and meditation. So I'm doing that. I'm using that twice a day, and
Hmm.
my scores are slowly going up. But it's really interesting, Leslie. So it will show you kind of where, you meditation isn't something, from what I'm seeing, that is this slow linear progression. Each day you get better. It's this cyclical thing One day you could be at a high score, and the next day you're at a low. And if you've got a stressful day ahead of you, I find it really hard to keep a high score.
Yeah.
But if I don't have anything planned for the day, or if I'm going to go out birding, I'll have a high score in the morning. So it's fascinating because now I'm getting this this feedback, this score that's telling me, okay, yeah, you're doing good, or hey, you probably improve a little bit. So I'm really enjoying it.
Ah, well, so tell me how and if that coincides with your entry into birding. When did you become a birder? And what is a birder?
Oh, thank you. So the definition of a birder, and comes from Freya McGregor, who her organization is called Access Birding, and she defines birding as the joy, um, as the joy of experiencing wild birds. Period. Nothing more, nothing less. The joy of experiencing wild birds. And it's important to use the word experiencing, because observing would mean that you would have the ability to see,
Right.
or hearing that you could hear. So experiencing is a an openness based upon what has given us to be able to experience birds. Um, the the typical If you were to ask most people about birding, they would probably bring up the movie The Big Year. And are you familiar with that?
No.
It was about 10 years ago. And so birding has become like everything else in the US and maybe the world, uh, competitive.
Mm,
So it's how many birds you've seen and how quickly you can identify them, and the level of your identification skills, that, oh no, that's a this and this
yeah,
because of these feathers, or I can hear this and I
right.
know that's this, and which is wonderful if that's what you love to do, but it really becomes exclusionary, very exclusionary, and intimidating for people that might want to join a birding trip, but they might be intimidated to do so.
Mhm.
So, what I'm involved with, leading birding trips for a wide range of individuals, regardless of their life challenges.
Mhm.
And that goes from somebody with mobility issues to somebody with neurodivergent issues. And this course, which is Freya is just the most brilliant person. She's done such a great job in teaching us how to lead these trips and how to be effective, how to be an effective leader for a wide range of people,
Mhm.
and the types of things that you should do and not do. And so I'm learning so much. And one of the things that she brought up in the course a couple of weeks ago was imparting empathy. I'm a very empathetic person, but I've never considered the skill of imparting empathy to a group.
Mm.
And so it's really stretching me. It's stretching how I would approach a group of people to get them to be considerate of the others in the group, depending upon their life challenges.
Mm.
Um, And then that leads into um, another type of birding, which is called mindful birding. And this is pretty much what I was describing, but it's open to anybody. It's not necessarily anybody with mobility needs or specific life challenges. Um, and so I've been leading them for about a year now, and it's completely different than the typical birding trip. So you asked what a birder was. Most people would say a birder is somebody that is able to quickly identify a wide range of birds, is involved with an app on their phone called eBird, where they input all the birds into eBird.
Mm.
Um, and so what has happened with okay, So birding 100 years ago was individuals that would put their birds on a list and keep track of their the birds that they had seen, and and really approach it from a more of a scientific standpoint. Um, there were competitions back in the day before the internet. And so they have me leading a trip on the 9th from 8 to 10 at Noyle Headlands. And it's open to anybody that wants to come. And so the Noyle Headlands, as you know, is so accessible. It's got accessible restrooms, it's got van accessible parking, and the trail is all very smooth asphalt. You get a combination of sea birds, but it also has some inland areas where you can see some of the inland birds. And it's a really enjoyable. It's not treed, so it's mostly just grassland and berry bushes.
Mhm.
Uh,
Well, how about owls? Have you seen many owls anywhere around the coast or?
Leslie, Leslie, please do not talk to me about owls. They are my nemesis. I have yet to see an owl. I've been birding now for 8 years. I've been on a dedicated somebody, this tour that's like, okay, we're going to see a spotted owl. We went to Point Arena, or I was able to get there on my old train wheelchair, and we saw one. But I am always looking. And if my wife is with me, she's like, "You're looking for owls." I said, "Yes." So they're my nemesis. I have so I've read so much about what to look for and when to look for them, and
And how did you get into optics? Was that part of your work in traffic design?
no,
Okay.
no. So um, the story of the optics. So when I retired 8 years ago, one of my best friends said, "Oh, you need to come to this birding class with me," and it was both a lecture and a field trip class. And 8 years ago, I was ambulatory. I was walking around with uh, I had my braces, but I could walk, and I had a staff. And I still thought I could use binoculars, because I had used binoculars all my life and hadn't been out using them for years. So we went out to the first field trip, and I went to use my binoculars. And I'm like, uh-oh. I was like, I couldn't get the binoculars up to my eyes. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? And I fell in love with the lectures, and I really wanted to see the birds. So that's what started it. And I did Google searches, and I couldn't find anybody that was building optics. And so I got involved with the organization called Birdability, and I got involved with Audubon. And I thought, other people can really benefit from all the stuff that I've done. And I don't want to have to, if the word gets out, I don't want to be like Zooming with somebody and having to do the same thing again and again and again.
Mhm.
Just me being the website. So I
Right.
thought, well, let me start and build a website, and I will document this stuff. And that way people can get informed without me having to inform them.
Mhm.
And then say, on my website, I say, get in contact with me, because everybody is different. Every body is different.
Mhm.
And what will work for one person isn't going to work for somebody else. Well, and I just want to encourage everybody, whether it's if you're not able to even leave your house or leave where you live, um, looking out a window and seeing nature, or going in your backyard and being with nature. Nature is Nature is our teacher. Nature is our healer. And, it's so important that we take the time every day, a couple times a day, to be out in nature. If you want to get into birding, download the app Merlin and go to the Sound ID. It's as simple as downloading the app, clicking on the sound ID, and just sitting down and watching it start to tell you what birds are around you. And then start to hear the birds. And even without Merlin, what will happen is if you're outside doing something, whatever it is, taking the trash out, all of a sudden you'll be, oh, that's a that's there because I can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It opens up it's almost like developing a new sense
Mm,
when you're able to hear the birds and know what bird it is that you're hearing and kind of visualize, oh, that's the house sparrow. I wonder where it is. It really expands your world. So
mm-hmm.
I really encourage everybody to do that.
Great. Well, thank you, Paul.
Thank
Uh,
you, Leslie.